back now. Two of them, they're racing really hard. Be careful with them, guys.
come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Oh, hello. Oh, man. That is some lighting, huh? I gotta change that around. I think I need a key light. So, let's do this. What's going on, Texer? What's going on, Grumps? That'll work. All right. How's everybody doing? Oh, I forgot my ice pack. Son of a bitch. So, I'm not really doing any sim racing today. Long story short, over the weekend, this is just a combination of a lot of bullshit and age. But I woke up Friday. Decided to do a typical stretch, and in the process of doing that stretch, I basically snapped a banjo string from the back of my neck up here, about the base of my skull, down into my shoulder. So I've been icing it nonstop, slowly getting better, but it's a slow burn. So today I decided I wasn't even going to stream at all, and I was like, you know, I haven't streamed since Wednesday. I gotta do something, even if it's just talking, bullshitting about sim racing. So I decided to get on a little late, and we're going to do that. We're going to chat about sim racing, folks. So over the weekend, what have we got? Let's check that out. Let's pop over to LMU. LMU released a new America trailer. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, by the way, I want you guys to hear this, because, now listen. I know Americans have a certain persona about them. But man, when I first, I am pretty hyped on this, but that being said, though, it's whatever. It's 6 tracks, and that's about it, really. But this is LMU's trailer that came out yesterday, or a couple days ago. They released this on the 4th of July. Now listen to the way they say, gentlemen, start your engines. Listen to this.
Drivers, start your engines! Drivers, start your engines!
Engines! Like, dude. It's almost like they took Bruce Buffer, Randy Savage, and like every American trope that ever was, and that was the voice they chose. Because I was excited for this trailer, then I heard that dude, and I was like, whoa, okay, all right. I know Americans can be Americans.
Start your engines!
That being said, it's, looks like probably 3 DLCs if I had, or 3 updates of 6 tracks. Which, hey, that's cool. I'm cool with that, But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Is that what they think of us? They couldn't have done a better job than that, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, shout out 4th of July content release, even though they haven't released the content yet. But, let's see. Days of Thunder. Gentlemen, start your engines. Now, let's compare it to, the real thing. And by the real thing, I mean a movie, but... That's that. I want the start of the race. We'll find it. Don't worry. We'll find it. Mind you, this is a pretty awful audio clip, but I don't know. I think back to this scene when I hear that. That sounds terrible. That sounds god-awful in that clip. But you get the idea. Point is, I don't know what they were thinking with that clip there. It was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, not gonna lie. Yeah, I had a good 4th of July. Pretty relaxing. Like I said, hurting my neck thing was bullshit. But it is what it is. Can't change that now. Yeehaw is right. Yeehaw. I can't remember if they are licensed with IMSA. I think they are. I don't remember. I'll just look it up. All right, so it's not IMSA, it's WEC. I knew it was WEC, but I wasn't sure if there was also some IMSA with them as well, but no, there is not. Why didn't they just hire an American to do a voiceover? That would require paying someone extra. But that was definitely... Now, what is the... Hold on, I should look it up. Studio 397 location. All right, so they're from the Netherlands. So what I gather from that is what someone from the Netherlands thinks an American sounds like. Hey, that's fine. We're ignorant too, but Jesus. I thought I was getting ready to watch a Street Fighter promo. Can't wait for LMU to come out on console. Honestly, Texer, you're better off building a computer and you're not going to be saved by LMU. I promise. I promise. This is what you want right here on screen. This is AMS2, Race Room. These are your things. LMU is it's not bad. It's not bad. But LMU is very, 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 its own very niche thing. Most people, I can tell you guys like Limberto, for example, right? Limberto the Alien of PMR. He just recently fell in love with AMS2, and he likes PMR, but he hates LMU. Can't stand LMU. He's an alien. So you can't use the whole argument against me that I'm not good at LMU. Because he's fast. He's a fast guy. He does not like LMU. You're in saving mode now? Nice, nice. Just don't get a Stream Deck, or Stream Deck, Steam Machine. Yeah, Days of Thunders. Admittedly, I'm not like some NASCAR connoisseur by any means, but, it's sort of like baseball in America. even if you were into it or not, you kind of have just absorbed a lot of it and the understanding of it throughout the years, even if you had nothing to do with it. He does have a love for ACC, too. But ask him about AMS2, Slick. He literally said to me yesterday, how is this game not more popular? Because he just found it, like 2 days ago. Yeah, AMS2 just released their latest update. I'm going to be going over that tomorrow. I would go over it today, but my neck is killing me. So I'm hoping that my neck is at least a little bit better tomorrow. Because it actually is working out, though, because I planned on streaming Doom this week, which is a total palate cleanse from sim racing. But it might work out because my neck. Because like I tried this morning, I jumped in the rig and tried moving the wheel around. I have to turn my force feedback basically off. And I'm like, I'd rather just wait, you know? So I didn't pay. I'll be full stop. I didn't pay any attention over the weekend to anybody streaming. I was in my own little world. How was video games this weekend? You know, for all the console players out there, how was PMR? You know, admittedly, I haven't really looked at PMR since I did the one Factory Driver Challenge Day. And by looked at it, I mean publicly. Like, I played it off stream, stuff like that, by myself. But I haven't, I've been putting more time into AMS2 lately, while PMR, you know, goes through its paces. They teased the test track on Facebook. Well, I mean, they teased it during the AMA, but that's cool. That's cool. We need more of that test track, you know? I mean, test track's cool. I'm all about the test track. I'm all about more content, obviously, you know? But game needs to work well first. Had lots of fun with PMR ranked over the weekend. That's good. That's good. Like, right now, I mean, my experience is still player dependent. And when it comes to PMR ranked, because, you know, I know that there are definitely disconnects that happen for people, but me personally, I don't have the disconnect problem. I just have lack of players, and then the remaining players punt you off the track. So those are my only real problems with ranked at the moment, for outside of like catastrophic level problems. Obviously, we need to be able to practice and things like that while we wait, so it's not menu simulator, things like that. But, you know, without a doubt, those are my biggest problems. Good to see people in AMS2 lobbies, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be moving forward, pushing AMS2 and PMR probably the hardest, because I enjoy them the most. You know, I'm just waiting, like I said, for PMR's next update. PMR's next update is going to be a pretty big one. So, you know, it's a question of, it's a big update, but will it stick the landing? That's always the question. Doesn't matter what I know is coming or what I don't know is coming. None of that matters. Because if it lands and it crashes when it lands, well, then it's not much of a landing. So, unfortunately, until it goes public, you have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah, Gio, honestly, it's the way to go. Like, I know I talked about it, but, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It depends on how much money you have to spend on a PC, because you can save a lot of money by building on the secondhand market. Truly. In fact, I will always push people into building PCs. Always. But the problem right now with building PCs is that the first-hand market, retail, some components have skyrocketed. It's the reason why consoles have gone up. It's those components, those individual components. Like, for example, let me bring this up quick. This is insane. This is insane to even look at. So look at this for a second here. This is what I have in my computer for memory. Right? You know how much I paid for it? A year ago. A year ago. The exact same thing a year ago. Subtract the first number. Get rid of the 1. That's what I paid. And this shit is in consoles. So why do you think, like, it's very easy to look at Xbox and look at PlayStation when they raise their prices and be like, oh, these greedy sons of bitches. Dude, like Xbox, for example, if this one component has gone up 5 times, 6 times technically, 6-fold, Xbox or Microsoft, call it Xbox actually, since they're a separate division, would literally be paying to build consoles. Like if they sold them at their original $500, right? It's one thing to not make any money because you're going to make money through the games. It's another thing to produce a product and sell it and take a big loss every product sale. So they have to increase their prices. Honestly, Run of Audio, a 5090 isn't even like what makes a computer expensive, because you don't have to buy a 5090. I tell people all the time, 5070 Ti is the target GPU for me. When I recommend any component, any GPU that will be long-lasting, like it'll outlast the next-gen consoles that we don't have yet, it's a 5070 Ti. A 5090 is... To spend money on a 5090, computers have to genuinely be like your hobby, which for me it is. You know? Like sim racing is a hobby. For me, computers is a hobby. And I just do so much off of my computer. So I can justify spending irrational money on something because I use it. Or the kidney. $1 to the DDR5, yeah. Do I think Rennsport can take off on console? I think there's a good game in there with more work, but the lack of players kills it off right now. I do, but, I mean, I think the same thing about PMR. I think, right now, in a vacuum, PMR is a better, more finished game than Rennsport. Rennsport definitely has some better things. The entire, custom lobby setup is better in Rennsport. I think the ranked play is more finished in Rennsport. But the game itself, so like the core game, as in if I go on single player, I jump into a race and I play the game. PMR is a more finished game. But if I go online, Rennsport is a more finished game. But both games are unfinished. I think the next update, here's the thing. The next update, I do believe, will genuinely move the needle well for PMR. If they stick the landing. And by stick the landing, I mean they don't introduce more problems. You know, we're getting a ton of new features, and if those new features break things, that's going to suck. That's going to hurt the game. But if they introduce the new features and they land and things work and it only progresses and doesn't create more problems, that's huge, you know? With what's coming in the next update, I can objectively say PMR is the better game. But neither game is finished, so I can't say when two products are unfinished, which is the better product, because it's all hypothetical based on what could be, you know? In my opinion, this is my opinion. Buy both games. Buy both games. Jump back and forth. Because they make... One thing that's great about playing the games and having multiple options like that is it makes the other side feel fresh. The grass is always greener mentality. So, like, when you jump into, say, Rennsport after putting in a shit ton of time in PMR, you get to see all of the things that PMR could be with the things that Rennsport's doing good, and you enjoy those things. But then when the fatigue starts to set in of Rennsport, when you jump back over to PMR, all of a sudden now PMR, the things that PMR's doing better than Rennsport, feels fresh, feels good, and now you can see what Rennsport could be capable of if they implement those things. And just this nice back and forth. And that's all games. You know? Think Rennsport is more finished game? I can see why you would say that, though. I can see why you would say that. I will say, I think, from a content standpoint, a car standpoint, specifically cars, I think there are some things in Rennsport that are better, but mostly the cars are worse than PMR. I do think the GT3s have a generally better experience than the PMR GT3s. However, I think what's coming for GT3, the new GT3s that are coming to PMR, I think are better than Rennsport's current cars, which currently I think Rennsport's GT3s are better than PMR's current GT3s. So what I'm saying is, I do think what's coming to the GT3s and PMR is substantially better than what we already have. So if GT3 is your thing and you like Rennsport better, you might find PMR pulls you back from Rennsport specifically for just GT3s. But for the most part, I think PMR's lineup of cars is far more polished, and they have way more cars. But it's far more polished, and the enjoyment of driving spread across classes, PMR is substantially better to me than Rennsport. From a feature standpoint, Rennsport is better than PMR, because PMR is just lacking that, you know? The DDR dollar. Yeah, what's going on, Trev? Smiling Speedster. Yeah, Rennsport's really oversteery, yeah. BTCC would help, for sure. I'm telling you, those 90s DTMs in Rennsport, in my opinion, is the reason to play Rennsport. In my opinion. But, like, if you already have things like Race Room, then in my opinion, you still don't have a reason to play Rennsport. You know? But for a console player, Rennsport, I think, has moved to being a solid choice. However, no one's playing it. So, like, I know these are just Steam numbers, guys. But that being said, don't think that because these numbers are just computer and that the game is more popular on console, that the numbers are way higher on console, because it's not the case. So, PMR concurrent players. 70 right now on Steam in-game, which is one of 3 ways to play it on PC. But it's the dominant way to play it, for sure. You have the Giants software, and you've got Epic Games. I mean, I agree, Texer, but the problem is that adding cars to PMR is not going to bring players to PMR. Finishing the game is what will bring players to PMR. And that's just time. Rennsport, 28 in game. So I think we can all objectively agree that PMR is the more popular game over Rennsport. You know? I can't go into too much detail, Bran, but I mean, I drove them at their expo. They were there at the expo with it, you know, the new GT3s. But, you know, moving the needle, physics, tires, all that stuff. I mean, the thing about the cars in the game is that they are forever moving needle. You know, they're always going to be evolved. What we get for GT3s next is not going to be the final version of GT3s in the entire run of PMR. It's just not going to happen. No game is. Look at that. For example, let me show you something here. Let's see. Right here. 1.7 physics revisions. This is for AMS2. This game has been out for 7 years. Game's been out for 7 years. These classes of cars have gotten the latest revision to, you know, stuff. Cars. LMDH, LMP2, DPI, P1, GT1, GT1 2005, blah, 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 blah. All these classes of cars have gotten the latest physics and tire model. These classes of cars have, as they say, partial revisions. Not all of it. And this game came out quite some time ago. Store page. March 31st, 2020. Almost 6.5 years old. So, the needle never stops moving. That being said, though, my main two games are AMS2 and PMR. One thing I really like about them is that while, yes, there's always an online experience that could potentially be turned off in the future, at the end of the day, you own these games. Maybe not physically, but digitally you own them. If this game went offline and PMR went offline, look what you can't do in GT7 without an internet connection. If you think you have a physical disc of Gran Turismo 7 and you own that game, you own this game more. Same with PMR. Smiling Speedster, I recommend waiting for the next update. Like, if you haven't returned to PMR yet, don't do it yet. Wait till the next update. I can absolutely, maybe this is just me knowing with trends, but I can absolutely see some hot fixes after the next update. I can definitely see some which I'm never against hot fixes, guys. I'm never against you. In fact, you shouldn't be either. People look at hot fixes as like frowned upon things, man. Like, where's LMU right now? Look at this is what I mean. So 1.3.3 major update, LMU. Following that major update, which is what I consider the next update coming for PMR, 1 hotfix, 2 hotfix, 3 hotfix, 4 hotfix since their last major update. I prefer a hot fix to no fix. Exactly. Exactly. All of the sims embrace the hot fix. Now, it's harder when you're cross-platform and consoles, because consoles make it harder. A lot easier on PC. But the amount of times I see people complaining about, oh, they're going to release an update, and then there's going to be a hot fix. Yeah. So what? Would you prefer a problem be introduced into the game and then them not fix it, and you have to wait another month for the next major update? I personally would. I feel like I would fail miserably in game development because I wouldn't know how to please everybody, because everybody just wants to bitch and whinge and complain, you know? And which would turn me off. I would just not do it, you know? But hot fixes are good. It means they're fixing it. You just have to pray Steam never goes offline? Yeah, I agree. I don't think it will, though. I mean, you never know. Honestly, like, I think video games... Here's the thing. I think video games are too big to fail. And I think that's why so many companies are being greedy and, you know, laying people off and increasing prices, because they know they can. Because the market's not going away. I truly believe that we would have to get into like some world, world-ending event for video games to fail. I don't see Steam going away. I don't see Microsoft going away. I don't see Sony going away. I don't see Nintendo going away. They're far too profitable. They make too much money to fail. Like Amazon. Amazon's too big to fail. They might lose money, but losing money doesn't mean fail. You have any idea how much money Amazon has to lose for how long they have to continue to lose it before they would actually fail? It's impossible. It's an impossible task. There's too many lazy Americans out there for Amazon to fail. And the same with video games. People will do this, right? Oh my God, this is so expensive. This is ridiculous. And then they buy it anyway. Do you think Sony and all them care if you complain, if you buy it? You keep buying it and complaining in the process, they're going to keep selling it. And they're going to keep doing the same shit. That's why people say you judge with your wallet, not your mouth. Yeah, GT7, it's weird. I'll be honest with you. I actually think, and this is going to sound crazy, but ignoring the tracks, right? The lack of tracks. I actually think Forza Horizon 6 is a better, more realistic experience from a physics and a tire model standpoint than Gran Turismo 7. Whenever I go back to Gran Turismo 7, and I do occasionally play it, I jump on my PS5, play it on my RS50, and I'm like, I'm just playing a video game. Nothing really makes any sense in Gran Turismo 7. So I understand why people would make fun of Forza Horizon 6 for a lack of realism and shit, because you can drive through woods and destroy trees and shit like that. I get that. But purely focusing on physics and tire model, Forza Horizon 6 is far above Gran Turismo 7 in terms of realism. You know? Gran Turismo 7 is just... It just feels like nothing. It just feels like nothing. It's fun, but it feels like nothing. It's all memory racing. It's not feedback racing, you know? I actually think Rennsport feels way better than GT7 Smiling Speedster. Like way better. In fact, like they don't even compare. But I actually put GT7 at the bottom when it comes to I think the only thing that makes GT7 simcade and not games like Forza Horizon 6 and say like Need for Speed and shit is because they do follow some level of like realistic style of driving ish. You know, pitting, real tracks, things like that. Like, it gives you the perception of, like, hey, this is real. You know, we got real tracks. We're driving all over the place. We're racing in real races, you know. But outside of that, GT7 100% misses everything. It's still fun. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy playing it. But if we're going to put it in the vacuum of realism, Rennsport's more... They're all better. Forza Horizon 6 has a more realistic driving experience than Gran Turismo 7. By a lot. GT7 is just memory racing. You just memorize when to brake. You memorize how to turn. Everything is through memory. And that's fine. You can get really good at that. But in real life, imagine if you've never driven a car before. Or that particular car you're getting in. You've never driven it before. The only way you're going to learn the limit of that car without dying is by getting feedback from everything, life around you, the car, gravity, G-forces, everything. If you couldn't feel anything and you had to go strictly off of memory, you would crash in turn 1. Or you would drive so incredibly slow because you were scared of crashing, it would take you an eternity to find the limit. If you couldn't feel anything. And that's what Gran Turismo 7 is. You don't feel anything. But it's a video game, so you just crash, and then you find the limit. Yeah. Yeah, for me, what killed GT7, like fully killed GT7, is AMS2. I dove in AMS2 before PMR. So like I went from, I spent way too much time in Gran Turismo. And the reason why I'm talking all this shit about Gran Turismo is because I feel like I can, because my entire life, I've played every one of them, and I've put stupid amounts of hours into every Gran Turismo. It's why I missed the Project Cars games. And I regret it, you know? I can tell you if Project Cars is anything like PMR, I am absolutely pissed that I was playing Gran Turismo. I'll be right back. Go not too bad. Enjoying that computer? I saw... Oh, I'm sure he's told some other people, but he sent me a message on Discord earlier today. Banned from LMU. Fucking game. Temporarily, but yeah, temporarily. Well, the thing is, Trev, the problem with force feedback versus real life is that, and it's a big part of why I turn off a lot of things in force feedback, There are so many things in real life you don't get through the wheel, but you get it through everything else. You feel friction loss with tires. You feel G-forces. You feel all of these things that you can't get sitting stationary in a rig. So how else can you get it? You got to get it through your wheel, right? Which, admittedly, force feedback has gotten insanely detailed to the point where your muscle memory of your brain can recognize what your wheel's doing and go, oh, my car's doing this. But in a real car, it doesn't do that. You know? Grip loss on a wheel in real life feels like the wheel gets soft. That is accurate. Well, ironically, doesn't happen much in PMR. That's the one place about, I think, PMR's force feedback really, really, really suffers is brake loss. If you're driving a non-ABS car, right? In real life, and in almost all of the other sims, if you have... Let me get my wheel here. So if you have resistance on the brakes, you feel that it's harder to turn the car when you have gripped up tires. When the tires lose grip, steering gets easy because you're turning weightlessness. Whatever your steering rack, your steering shaft, your axe, or your tie rods, you know what I mean, the suspension, your wheels, and your tires, whatever that weighs, that's what you're now feeling in the wheel. You don't feel the weight of the car anymore. In PMR, for some reason, when you lock the brakes up, the steering doesn't really change much. And that's something that really, really, really they need to apply to their force feedback. Other than that, though, I very much like PMR's force feedback overall. But most sims, when you lock the front brakes up, you get that loose wheel feeling, right? That's the way it should be. But there's a lot of force feedback that's delivered through missing features of a sim, you know, like oscillations. Oscillations don't happen on a real wheel, but it's a method of delivering you a force feedback feeling to tell you what the car's doing, you know? A 24-hour ban. You heard about the news about AC Evo modding? What news? Zayman. Please update. Unless it's super recent news, I have not heard anything. I've been trying, but I can't dial Rennsport in with force feedback feeling. Force feedback is such a hard one to talk about, guys, because your hardware matters so much to the experience. Hardware can literally put the shoe on the other foot for what games feel better and what games feel worse, you know? For example, because I have a big base that has a massive range of detail, I can't get anywhere near what I feel with my RS50. And I really like the RS50. The RS50 is really good. But I'm missing 20 Newton meters of range. And in that range, you lose a lot of detail. In real life, I drive Mercedes. After sim racing, hopping to my Merc, force feedback felt undrivable. Force feedback in... would elaborate, sir. Anti-feedback where it pulls away from me with torque steer. That's torque steer's front wheel drive. Obviously, you know that, but that's something that I've never experienced in a sim. It would be cool to see some torque steer in a front wheel drive car in a sim. Do we know of any that do that? I personally haven't experienced it, but that would be cool. Torque steer. Let's actually jump into AMS2 quick. I don't know what I'm going to do because my friggin... Can't even get banned from committing fraud in Logitech events. Oh, I'm telling you guys, man. I get so frustrated when I see this whole, like, LMU savior thing. It's not. Not. It's more polished than PMR. Only ever felt torque steer, and then you seem to be a big fan of the 306 Maxi. Let's see. So they added some new stuff, guys. They basically, in layman's terms, if you don't know AMS2, they added NGTs or more NGTs and more GTs. So we got alphabetical order, Evan. One of these days, I just don't know why I aimlessly scroll. That's true. That's true, Bob. I forgot there is torque steer. The problem is that they're so sloppy, it's hard to recognize it as torque steer. It's just loosey-goosey. So, all right, this class got a nice update. We officially got the Lister Storm. We got the Milano GT55, which is, what's the real variant of this car? The real Ferrari? This is a Ferrari. Forgot what it's called, though. Like, for example, this one here, the Milano GT36, this is a 360 Modena. This is actually one of my favorite cars in this game. Well, we got the TVR, we got the Spiker, and we got the Panos Esperante, which I have not driven yet. These three cars got added. They added the Lister, the Ferrari, and the Celine S7. What else did we get? We got the, I'm not even going to try and say any of those words. Sorry. I know I just pissed off some people, but we got that guy. That's popular in PMR, another NGT. I think that's it. Let me look in Steam quick. It'll tell me. So the Milano, the Ferrari was free. The other four, Maserati Grand Sport to the Maserati Trofeo class. All right, hold on. 1, 2. Oh, TVR to the GT2 class. Hold on. Let's check GT2 and Maserati Trofeo. So we got this guy here. And we got... yeah, these three. Nah, too bad. I almost got banned from LMU for being hit off the track by other people. It's really... their system works better than PMR's. Because PMR doesn't have anything. But... still. 550 GT, gotcha. This is AMS2 Smiling Speedster, yeah. This is my number one. This is my number one. PMR is my number two. Let's try out the Lister. Why not? We all know Sebring. Let's go round wheel. Oh, God, this is gonna suck. Be doing this because I'm in pain, but it is what it is. LMUs were all center system. Yeah. I haven't spent any time with it yet, slow boy. Haven't spent any real... Oh, shit, I got rain on right now. I have light rain, I believe. Yeah, change this quick. Rain in this game is beautiful, by the way. Like, totally beautiful. Not getting my stupid... my dash not ready. There we go, finally. Race in a thunderstorm? Let's race in a thunderstorm. It's afternoon here, slow boy. It's 1:30. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah, we're going to spend some more time with this tomorrow. Probably a good 4-hour stream. I'm only doing like 2 hours today because... Like I said, just getting on here to bullshit, you know. No real method to my madness today. Just getting on and talking. Engaging with you guys. Oh, that's right. We got no TC. I forgot. Sorry. I can't see shit. Alright, let's try something a little different there. Repent sinners, buy more DLC. Oh god, it's so true. So true. Alright, let's actually drive the car a little bit. Yeah, the best thing you can do, too bad, is leave from the pits. It's dumb. It's so dumb. LMU is a grind that... It's toxic. It's just not a good time, in my opinion. But we'll see what the American DLC brings. Pretty sure I have the AI on pretty talentless right now. Oh no. We got an accident. Up! Oh, AMS2 grass, man. AMS2 grass is the opposite of PMR. Braking in this game is very different, too, without ABS, compared to PMR. Like, this game, stuff the brakes, but then roll off. Like, in PMR, for a non-ABS car, I gradually roll into the brakes. In this, I find I stab the brakes and then roll off. Big bump. What do we like the sound of better? The Lister in this or the Lister in PMR? I think the Lister in cockpit view sounds a little better, but I think exterior in this sounds better. Yeah, how do you run it? Are you running it more aggressive initially and then fading it off? Because that's what I'm finding how I have to brake. Right now, my curve is linear. It's 1-to-1, essentially. I don't remember what the Aston sounds like. Let's take the Aston around without any traffic. That's AI at 100%? Oof. I mean, it goes to 120, but I feel like that should be a little easier. A little harder, I mean. Aggressive early, yeah. I noticed that it doesn't, you want to stuff the brakes early, but then roll off before they lock up. PMR is the polar opposite. Roll in easy and then slowly push the brakes in to prevent lockup. Audio for me goes back and forth with PMR and AMS2. Some cars I like better, some I like worse. Like, I definitely think this car sounds nastier in PMR. More accurate? That's the thing. I don't know. I don't care. I go by what I like the sound of, you know? Yeah, I didn't brake hard immediately right there, and I regretted it. That was almost full lock. Basically full lock, non-ABS. Whenever full lock on the brakes. Alright, that one locked that time. So like 90 to 95% stabbing the brakes. Alright. Anyway, let me use the bathroom quick. All right. But yeah, what do we think? Do we think PMR is going to claw its way back and become very successful? Like, no blindly confident and no blindly aggressive. Yeah, I'm not trying to play Geo. I'll dabble around a little bit, but I got a bum neck right now, so the force feedback kind of kicks my ass. But that being said, you know, I'm basically doing this stream today just to talk. Just to talk. You know? Maybe I'll jump around here and there, but like I'm not trying to... Today's not... That's why it's an IRL stream and not like a sim racing themed stream, even though I'm sitting in the chair. Oh yeah, it was just a piss. Just had to take a piss. It's like 10 feet away from me. It will. It's just the name that I won't say that make people not want to play it. Oh, gotcha. Well. Will be a top game. But here's the thing. Top game as in the actual game is good, or top game from a player standpoint? What do you think? I think it's going to be a minute before we see 1,000 concurrents. Because that is the metric, whether people want to admit it or not. So here, let me show you. All right, so this is the Steam DB. Project Motor Racing. 80 in game. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's pretty decent, actually. In fact, I could probably jump on and actually do a little bit of playing, but like I said, I'm really trying to wait for the update. That's 80. Rennsport. 32. AMS2. Okay, I guess I gotta spell it out. $1,586. Like, and this is actually not a popular game. AMS2. It's really not. I wish it was, because it deserves to be more than, in my opinion, more than PMR. Because it's been around longer, it's put the time in. Not saying PMR doesn't deserve more than it's got, but PMR has been rocky. You know, PMR hasn't gotten to that. Like, this game is super stable, super, just everything about it just works, you know? PMR needs more time to get there. But anyway, 1586. It's gonna be a while before you see that out of PMR, in my opinion. Ultimate. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, man. That's how much more popular this is than even AMS2. I think PMR is a great game. The only problem is that the reputation has been so tarnished that people will hesitant. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, without a doubt. So let's see. What else do we have? Even this is pretty low. This lost a lot. I'm one of them. Lost a lot of momentum. 34,000. That was gigantic at one point. I mean, that's still gigantic, but still, you get my point. What other? Oh, race room. 853. Race room's even smaller than AMS2. The Forza Horizon burnout is real. Yeah, I admit it, I'm burned. There's nothing to do. There was so much to do in Forza Horizon. So much to do, and then it just ends and you're done. And you're like, I have no reason to play this game anymore. It kind of sucks. There's no competitive narrative to want to race people. And the single player experience is like 40 hours. And you're done. So much to do, yet nothing to do. It's actually kind of crazy how long that game was developed for and what we got from a lasting content standpoint. Looking for the spot on this. I don't use the website often, where it shows you the recent reviews. Gee, when do you think the patch came out? 2.0, right there. 2.0. Marketing works, boys. But you got to deliver on the marketing. That's the problem. You know? We're chilling right here. We got 2.0. Boom! All right, people interested. Oh, still has problems. Decline began. We got the GT DLC. Clearly, you can see right here, guys. You can see right here. The GT icons did bring some people in. Rightfully so. They're good cars. But it's not enough. The game needs to be working state. Like, even right now, I want to play some PMR. I want to jump in ranked and do some ranked racing. But I already know what the experience is going to be like. Let's see what's even in ranked. I hope they stick the landing on the next update, guys, because if they do, that's 100% going to bring people back in permanently. But they have to stick the landing. They really do. They crash and burn so much on updates. If they stick this landing, it's going to be good. I'm just like, I don't know if they will. That's the only problem, man. You don't know what it's going to be like until it goes public. You know? $30-car grid or Lonely Island. Yeah. Currently building shaders. That's why it's taken a while. Haven't booted up since I deleted shaders. See what we have in here. A lot of people in that race. On DH on Brianza. 12 laps. So I already put in my recommendation for this. If they do it, I don't know. We'll see. But I recommended LMDH run on every 6 hours. Once a day is no. Just a big old fat no. It's still, because the thing is, they want this to be like a prestigious race that you want to make time for. So they do it once a day. In my opinion, it can still be a prestigious race and have it on a 6-hour rotation. You know? $40 hours? When's 40 hours from now? What time? I'll be sleeping. Like, I'm literally 39 hours from now, I will be sleeping. And I live on the East Coast of the United States. And then guess what? The West Coast is 3 hours behind me. That just doesn't make sense. American sports cars at a time where all of North America is asleep. I don't know. Like I'm saying, like ranked. When I go into ranked, I want to close the game. Haven't played since the 6070s DLC came out. Is there anything new or still the same? Oh, it's the exact same, Igor. We're not getting an update for, according to what they said in the AMA, a couple weeks. Mid-July. But it is going to be a, definitely if it, like I said, if the landing sticks, it'll be a good update. You never know if the landing's going to stick, so. There's just so much game that has to get developed, man. That's the problem. So much game that has to get developed. Yeah, there's just, it's just not, there's just nothing there on, ranked. All right, let's see which one we think sounds better. Since we were just in this car, in AMS2, let's see which one we think sounds better. Yeah, like I think that sounds better than the AMS2 version. Well, I'll definitely be hosting lobbies once the new update comes. I will be back to that routine. Like I said, I'm taking a break from it because I need a break. There's too many other good things out there for me to be focusing on this thing when it's not, it just needs more, you know? Geo. But I do miss it. I very much enjoy playing this game. That would be a good time to start, Slick, in my opinion. Provided join in progress works. Oh, we never know until we get it. Yeah, Igor. That's why I do this. Is for me. This is what PMR is the best at right now. What I'm doing. AMS2 is doing PMR's job. I mean, they've been around a lot longer. They've been around a lot longer. But that being said, if you're on PC and PMR is like, AMS2 in my opinion is what you should play while PMR continues to get developed. You can play them both unilaterally. It's not like you have to play one game. But the only thing AMS2 just has none of is ranked play. So I don't know what's worse, no ranked or poor implementation of ranked. Because those are your choices, but they are very similar games in my opinion. Like right now, if you're on PC, I recommend you buy all of AMS2, the whole thing, 140 bucks. Yeah, I get it, it's a lot of money, but it's a lot of content. And I also recommend you buy this, because it's also on sale. And then just wait. You know, a lot of people like to need instant gratification on money spending, but if you've never played this game before, I recommend buying it right now on sale and then just waiting to play it. I mean, obviously you can play whatever you want, especially if you pay for it, but you know, I'm just saying you can buy it now and invest into some fun later for cheaper than if you wait. All right, that's what that sounds like. Let's try the lister now. Lister sounds really good in this game. Also, who did the weld on the cage for this car? Look at those welds! I do think exterior sounds substantially better in AMS2, but interior sounds way better in PMR. Now let's do this exact same thing. Fresh in the mind. Fresh in the mind. To be honest, Trev, I have no idea how ranked works in PMR. I don't get it. I've lost points not playing the game. Oh boy. Yeah, like listen to the exterior in this. It sounds a lot more like an actual exterior microphone that's peaking. But there's just not a lot of good audio coming from inside the car. I gotta say though, man, Daniel Kart's force feedback Fuck, going back and forth right now. And I like PMR's force feedback. I know, don't even get me started on the start your engines thing from LMU. One thing I don't like about the Lister is its rev range. It doesn't rev enough for my liking. It sounds and it runs like it should rev more, but it just doesn't. Let's try the Celine. I like PMR's default force feedback better than AMS2's default force feedback, but I like Daniel Kart's force feedback on AMS2 better than PMR. This force feedback is just incredible. So which Lister Storm do we like the sound of better? PMR's or AMS2? I feel like I'm pretty right when I say the exterior audio is better in this, in AMS2, and the interior audio is better in PMR. We're going to do the same thing for this car. Switch back over to PMR and see how it sounds. All right, let's leave this. Let's jump over back to PMR. Just killing some time. Tomorrow's going to be a full stream day. My shoulder's killing me doing this. Oh, I can't wait to ice. Can't wait to ice. Oh. And then Wednesday, Doom the Dark Ages. Right there. I know no one's going to want to watch that, but too bad. Moose Dog, how about the curbs? Can you feel them in force feedback? AMS2 or PMR? I find the curbs in PMR are all either on or off, and then AMS2, they vary a lot more. Some curbs will buzz the wheel right out of your hand. Other curbs you won't even feel. All right, let's see how this guy sounds now. I already like it better. Yeah, I think I like, same thing. I think the general audio that AMS2 is going with outside the car has a more authentic exterior experience. But I think the interior blows away AMS2's. It's not even close. And the thing is, though, it might seem like it's 1-in-1 for audio, but at the same time, I only race in cockpit view. I think the car detail is better in PMR. But the world detail is better in AMS2. As of right now, anyway. We'll see what the next update brings. All right, let's compare the next one. I know they got the Viper, and they have the... Oh, I like the Viper. Ooh, that might win in AMS2. Let's compare. Let's compare. I love how he doesn't... Gamer Muscle keeps talking about doesn't drive like a real car when he doesn't drive any cars. Like, it's one thing to not be able to, like, compare the specific car to the specific car. But he doesn't drive cars at all. Period. No driving experience. Zero, none, nada. So I feel like that absolves you of any accuracy in opinion. If you've never done the thing you're saying is or is not real. I'm not saying he's got to be a race car driver to tell me what a real car feels like. Obviously not. But from my understanding, he doesn't drive cars at all. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe he's got a wealth of street car knowledge, and I'd accept that. That's plenty. In my opinion, I'd make the argument that if you have a lot of street car knowledge and variety of cars, you've actually experienced a lot more than the vacuum of one race car on a racetrack. You know? But still... You need one. You can't have none. If you've only raced, you know, dirt, oval, anything. If you've driven a car and you've raced a car, you've got experience to have an opinion. At least when you're talking about comparing something to something that is real. If you want to compare it to another sim, that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with that. And from my understanding, he's got a shit ton of sim racing experience. So in my opinion, he is very valid in comparing sim to sim. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to specifically say this doesn't drive like a real car, when you've never driven one of them, you don't have an opinion. Or one to stand on, I should say. You obviously have an opinion. So this one sounds pretty good per usual. Per PMR audio, sounds really good interior. Exterior, it doesn't sound bad. It just doesn't sound like an exterior microphone car. Exterior microphones get blown out, they get very noisy. There's not a whole lot of like audio control. Like, let me show you an example. Like, this is what I mean by exterior audio. It doesn't sound clean. It's very noisy with a lot of just other stuff. And that's a microphone right on the back bumper of a car. This audio almost has a very like underwatery type sound. Like I said, it doesn't sound bad. Like, for a better comparison here, do a better comparison. Closer comparison. There we go. Exact same car. Horsepower difference. The one in my video makes about 750, the tire. This one makes probably 480, the tire. So this one will be a little quieter, technically. But God, it is so hard to drive in third person. So let's do exactly what I do in the video. I'm rolling in third. I downshift. Now let's compare to IRL. Different car, but close enough. Did I break it? I'll tell you, VLC media player's a rough one. I hate you, Slick. By the way, that little wah is shitty mass airflow sensor readout. Supercharged cars suck for that reason. Point is that the comparison I'm trying to make here is that AMS2 is doing a much better job at making it sound like the microphone is being blown out. It's peaking, is way too much noise, so you're getting the exhaust sound. But this here, it's like turned down and muffled and quiet, and it's meant to, it's got more of a trying to go for like a GT7 thing. Again, it's not bad. I like the downshift backfires, things like that. But that's the same engine, essentially. Those different, that game audio versus the one I played is the same engine. The one I played makes more power, but again, it's not about necessarily the tone or how loud it is. It's about what the microphone sounds like. So let's jump over to AMS2 quick. And I know I'm nitpicking right now. I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm just, since I'm talking about it, I will might as well nitpick. Again, I don't care. I don't think it sounds bad in PMR. It doesn't turn me off. I don't race in that view anyway. And what I do race in, which is cockpit, sounds incredible in PMR. So as far as I'm concerned, if I had to pick one, they're doing the better job in the one that I care more about. So I'm not going to knock it for chase cam audio, but I'm just trying to give credit where it is due for AMS2 here. Their chase cam audio sounds more authentic to what a camera or a microphone, not so much the camera's irrelevant, the microphone would sound like behind a car. Let's get in the Viper now. Sure, Bathurst doesn't matter. Yeah, they definitely have to have a different audio sound, in interior versus exterior. No doubt that has to happen. Now, this is one that I might admittedly like the interior audio better because I do like the interior audio of this car in this game. But it's a one-off situation. But you hear the difference? The exterior in this one is very blown out and echoey, which is more accurate. Admittedly, this car doesn't sound great in this view. Oh, that's a wall. I do really like the interior view of this car, though. Audio, I mean. But I've liked it since it came out. This is probably one of the few that I like better than PMR on the inside. But again, it's a rare scenario, you know? I'll drive my real car chase cam, what do you mean? Try a different card. Oh, whoop, 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 whoop. But yeah, I do think AMS2 does a much better exterior audio sound. Here's another one we can do. Another one we can test. I just want to make sure there's no... I know we don't have a Mustang in this game, which people have been begging for. That car's getting a lot, like really, really popular. The Mustang GT3. Closest thing we have to the Mustang is the Camaro SS, but if I had to guess, it's based off the numbers here. It's a stock car, so it's kind of a stock exhaust on it. We'll try the Murcielago. Yeah, I agree, Eagles. The Viper motor in PMR sounds very low RPM. Evo does the Mustang the best, without a doubt, Harry. Without a doubt. They 1-for-1 hit a home run, knocked it out of the park. You know, for the audio of the Mustang. So let's hear. I do think this is a more accurate exterior audio sound. It's noisy, it's broken, it's not supposed to sound clean, exterior audio. Oh! I was expecting it to lose the rear end there, and it gripped. I was counter steer. That's why I went back and forth. I was counter steering with no reason to counter steer. So just like I was driving back and forth. All right, real quick. Let's go check out Murcielago in PMR. I'm weird. I could kill so much time doing this shit. Just going back and forth listening to audio. Might not be the most entertaining thing to watch, but it's something I enjoy. Sake of keeping it on the same track. That was pretty good in both. Like, this is one of those scenarios where it sounds really good, but it doesn't sound like an exterior audio camera or a microphone because it's too clean. Again, I know I'm nitpicking. I don't care if they ever change the exterior audio. It's a good sound, and I'm fine with it. Oop, oop. Driving like it's AMS2. Got a little more understeer in AMS2. Little more understeer in AMS2. So I'm turning in more aggressively in this like it's AMS2, and it's just putting me into the inside wall. Well, Hambone, that is challenging. Especially since people can't even have the same opinion about the same thing. Opinions make things really frustrating. Like the 787B in PMR. That's how that car sounds. 1 for 1. If you don't like it in this game, it's because you don't like the sound of the car. But like the M3 GTR, the NGT, sounds nothing like the real car. Like nothing like the real car. So they very much kind of are a little all over the place in PMR with audio. Which audio do we like better? Honestly, this is the tightest one for me, this car. I enjoyed them both. Yeah, Art, maybe I'll reinstall it and give it a shot again. If there's, I have to leave everything kind of installed anyway. For the sake of doing, like, comparison videos. I very much like doing the comparison stuff. I know some people can't stand it, and that's fine, just don't watch. But that's what I like doing. All right. It's 2:30, guys. That is officially it for me today. Tomorrow, I will be back at 11 a.m. to do an actual stream of actual sim racing, not this, like, random IRL, dick around, do whatever the hell I want to do nonsense. And yes, I do agree, Kev. Engine sounds need to sound analog, not digital. It needs to have imperfections. It needs to sound like microphones are being blown out. Things like that, you know? But for the most part, though, I can't complain about either game's audio because I enjoy both of them. Again, just nitpicking. That's all I was doing for the sake of having a conversation there was nitpicking. But realistically, I don't mind either one of them in any aspect, except for the M3 GTR in PMR. That car annoys me how bad it sounds. Other than that, though, you know, I don't mind anything. But that's it, folks. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Until then, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the mañana. Peace.